Okay, hey everybody. We are going to be doing a little review here that would be from our, I believe, our week 15, I think is where we're at now. So this will be a review for our week 15, and we are going to be talking all about plain conjunct order or B form, and we're going to be talking about it on VAIs specifically. The last video I put out was VIIs. Now we're talking VAIs. Okay, so let's get into it and do a little review on VAIs and B form. I will share my screen here. And let's check it out. So, when it comes to B form, we've already, and I think in our last video, we did like a bit of review on like what B form really is. So, I'm not going to go super deep into that, but just a reminder that A form or kind of independent order, uh, it creates complete sentences on its own. Whereas B form, which is what we're working on now, aka plain conjunct, does not create complete sentences on its own. Okay, I guess I should write complete correctly. How about that? Complete. There we go. Okay, so a reminder, okay, that we are going to be, we'll take a quick look at A form on a VAI just to like remind us, oh, that's what the paradigm looks like. But then we'll jump straight into B form and start to kind of check it out. All right, so let's have a little look here. I'll pick like a really accessible, easy verb, okay, that probably lots of us know, maybe something like majta, majta. So we're going to look at it in A form first, and then we'll look at this exact same verb, but in B form. Okay, and again, I'll put here, this is VAI in A form, just a reminder. Okay, so you can't do like these conjugations we're about to look at here today. You can't take those and put them on a VII. Like you can't take those and put it on like it's raining, or you can't take those and put it on it is blue, or it is big, or it is broken. You can't use it on those VIIs. We're going to be using it on VAIs, like I'm sleeping and he's hungry and they are laughing and we are whistling, or, you know, you guys are dancing. All right. It'll be those types of verbs that we're going to be working with here. Okay. So, machta in A form. So, right now, out of the dictionary, it means he or she starts, period. Okay, because remember, it makes a complete sentence. It's an A form. He or she starts, period. Majta. We can make it plural. Majtawa. Okay, they start, period. I can say I start, ni majta. Again, I could put a period there, right? I start. And finally, ge majta, which means you start. Period. Okay. So there it is. All right. That's what those four different subjects or those four different actors look like in A form on a verb like machta. Again, slightly different verbs. You conjugate them a little bit differently, but that's a really simple layout. Okay. Do nothing and it's third person singular. Add wug, it's third person plural. And at the front, somehow, whatever connects correctly. I'm doing it. G at the front, you're doing it. That should be something that you're all pretty like hopefully feel good about now. Like you should be able to be like, oh yeah, like bimose becomes bimose walk, they walk. Okay, cool. Or ne bimose, I walk, give bimose, you walk. That should be kind of within our skill set right now. But then what's sort of new is if I take that same verb, okay, and I want to look at it in B form, that is reasonably new for us. Okay, so if I take Majta. And I want to say something like, again, we're in B form, so I can't just say he starts anymore. Like he starts, that's A form. So I need to write it differently in English. So I'll say when he starts, dot, dot, dot. Okay. Because it's not a complete sentence. All right. It's just like a dependent clause. So I need to do something to Majta. it can't just stay like this because that would be A form, right? Like that's it in A form, right? There's nothing going on. So I have to do something. I have to make a sound. And the sound you would make is Maj Todd. This D at the end, that puts it into B form, Maj Todd. If he starts, when he starts, as he's starting, until he starts, while he starts, as he starts, like any of those things, could be understood with Maj Todd. For him to be starting, it's all good. Okay. Now let's keep going. So to make it plural and say when they start, Maj Ta Wad. Okay, Maj Ta Wad gives us when they start, dot, dot, dot. And there it is. Maj Ta Wad. Maj Ta Wad. You'll see in some dictionaries, like in Eastern dictionaries, that D, they might prefer the harder sound, and you might see it become like Wat. Oh, Maj Ta Wat. Gishpin Maj Ta Wat, which is fine. So D or T there, don't stress about it. It's all good. Let's keep going. So now, if I want to say I start, when I start, or if I start, Maj Ta Yon, Maj Ta Yon. Gishpin Maj Ta Yon. If I start, in this case, when I start, we'll write it like that. And finally, I want to say when you start, Maj Ta Yin, Maj Ta Yin. Gishpin Maj Ta Yin. If you start, and there it is. Okay, so there's a very straightforward, very clean, simple little paradigm here that illustrates those B form endings or those conjunct endings, because we'll use those in C form too when we get there. So really, they're just conjunct endings. So there it is. Okay, there are those conjunct endings. So you might notice in A form, it's all over the place. Majta, there's nothing. We don't inflect it at all. Majtawag gets a suffix, but then Nimajta gets a prefix. So A form's all over the place, whereas B form, very consistent, all endings. Okay, and I don't want to see any double dipping. All right, no double dipping where you take Majta and you want to say like, oh, like when I start, and you put like ni Maj Tayan. I've seen that from students a lot where they put like the N at the front for me, but then they're like, oh yeah, it needs a B form ending, and they put yon at the end too. No. Okay, one or the other. It's either A form and you just put ni, or it's B form and you just put the conjunct ending like yon. Okay, one or the other, no double dipping. Okay. All right. So the other thing that I can sort of mention here is that it doesn't always look perfectly like this. We'll get into this in the next class, but I might as well just talk about it while I've got you here. That works well if it ends in a vowel, like Maj Ta ends in a vowel. So you just put D or Wad or Yan or Yin, and it's all good. If it ends in a consonant, it's ever so slightly different. Okay. Like if I take a verb like Dagoshin, Dagoshin means he or she arrives. Okay, it's to get somewhere or arrive. He or she arrives. Dagoshin. That's it in A form, third person singular. Now, if I wanted to take this same verb, Dagoshin, and I wanted to put it into B form, okay, you're going to see that it's going to look a little different. Dagoshin, like it is here, if I want to say when he arrives or if he arrives, you can't just put a D because then you get Dagoshind, which is not, it doesn't sound good and that's not how we roll. Okay. So this one's very weird and it's going to feel like it's going to feel suspiciously like doing a VII here. But we say Dagoshing, Dagoshing, when he arrives, dot, dot, dot. Okay. So Dagoshing, we're actually putting a G at the end, which looks a lot like a VII, but don't get them mixed up. Dagoshin's still a VAI. It's still him or her arriving. Gishpin kwe Dagoshin, if the woman arrives, you're still doing that, okay? Just don't get thrown because you tend to do that with VIIs too. Like Gimel one becomes Gimel Wang. We just add a G on it. So just try to keep those straight. And then if I want to do that more plural and say like when they arrive or if they arrive, Dagoshin, we were adding wad up here, right? Machta wad. This one, Dagoshin owad. Okay, because we can't have nothing there. Dagoshinwad, Dagoshinwad, like very difficult. Dagoshinwad with that short O really greases the wheels. Okay, so that's what we're actually adding is Dagoshinwad, owad. When they arrive. Okay. And then let's do me and you. This one looks a little different. Okay. Were you like for me, like when I arrive, we were adding yawn, right? But Dogoshin yawn obviously sounds bad. Dogoshin yawn. It's hard to say, it's not smooth. So what we do is, well, there's two ways to solve that. You can either say Dogoshin oyan and do what we did here, but that's not what we're going to do, not Dagoshin oyan. It's painful to say. We actually delete the Y. Dagoshinan. Dagoshinan. Okay. MIOP get Dagoshinan. That's when I'm going to arrive. Okay. Like that's how you could use that. Dagoshinan. So this is the when I arrive. All right. So it's like yawn. Okay. It's like yawn, but it's on, but the Y is not there. Okay. And then let's look at the last one, which is going to be if I want to say something like when you arrive, dot, dot, dot. Okay. Now, this one, we've been adding yin, but let it be known just for the record, I've been keeping it consistent just to make your life easy. But a lot of people say yun as well, yin or yun. Like that's on Maj I could have said Maj yin or Maj yun, and it's the same thing. Okay, yin or yun. That starts to matter because the Bform here is we do the same thing. We delete the Y and it becomes Dogoshinan. And there's that. Okay, when you arrive, Dogoshinan. P Dogoshinan, when you arrive, or Gishpin Dogoshinan, or if I want to say until you arrive, I will wait until you arrive. Ninga B nish Dogoshinan. That's what it looks like. Okay. So a little different, right? Dagoshin Owad, Dagoshinan looks a little different than Majtad, Majtawad, Majtayan, Majtayan. Those are the two real ones to know. Vowel ending, consonant ending. It sort of changes the game a little bit. Okay, but there they are, and they're there for you to look at now. Okay, and start to kind of wrap your head around. So then when it comes to Bform now, all we're going to do now with this little review is we'll just make a couple compound sentences. We'll do like a few examples just so you can see what it looks like in use. Okay. So if I do something like, I will be, I will be maybe mad until I eat. Okay. Step one, find your first clause. I will be mad. That's my clause number one, and it is in A form. Until I eat is clause number two, and it's in B form. So let's start with the A form. I will be mad. Okay. You can use something like nishkadze. Nishkadze. Nishkadze means he or she is mad. So we need to put that in A form and capture the future tense. So up at the front, what would we do? For me, we need an N somehow. Future tense, it's going to be ninga or nga, nga nishkadze. However, is that correct? No, short vowel at the end. It's A form, and we still need to do final short vowel deletion. Ninga nishkadis, ninga nishkadis, ninga nishkadis. I will be mad. Ninga nishkadis. I'll be mad. And that's it. Ninganishkadas. I'll be mad. Until I eat. Until I eat. So we need the word for until, which is beanish. And it's going to set the tone for a B form clause because a beanish clause will be a B form one. Okay. It'll be in conjunct order. So until I eat. So I take my verb we sine. It's the VAI verb. He or she eats. We sine. We sine. But I need to put it into B form for me. Okay. So you can go up to, and it ends in a vowel. So you can go up, okay. We use majta, and the B form is majta yan when I do something or if I do something, or in this case, until I do something. Inish wisniyan. That's it. Boom. Done. Ninganish God is Binish wisniyan. Ninganish God is Binish wisniyan. I'll be mad until I eat. Okay. This is your A form clause, Ninganish God is. And then here's your B form clause, Binish wisniyan. There it is. A form, B form. Let's do another one. So we'll pick a different actor now. Maybe I'll do you. Okay. How about this? Um, you laughed while you, I don't know, while you cooked. Okay. It doesn't matter what the verb is. It's just a place mark, just an example. Okay. So you laughed while you cooked. So let's do this. You laughed. This is A form. You laughed. While you cooked is our B form clause. So, imagine those as separate. You laughed while you cooked. Build each one independently. If you start mixing them, you'll get weird stuff happening. Okay, so you laughed. The verb is bape. He or she laughs. We need to put it into second person and an A form, and we need a tense marker, right, for the past. So you, we need a G at the front, an A form. Past tense is gi. Does gigi boppe sound good? Gigi boppe? Gigi bop. Short I gets deleted. Again, final short vowel deletion, right? Me or you are doing it. There's a short vowel at the end of the VAI. Chop it. Okay. Gigi bop. You laughed. Gigi bop. You laughed. Now we want to do while you cooked. This is B form. Okay. So the word for while is magua. Magua, while or during. You cooked. So we need the base verb, which could be gizekwe or jibakwe. This is the one most people know. So jibakwe, he or she cooks, but we need to make it while you cooked. So we need a tense marker and we need to put it in B form for you. Okay, so again, the tense marker is going to be gi. And then at the end, this is a vowel ending VAI. So again, you know, and it's for you. So you can go to your little guide here. Oh, watch tie in. That's going to be my ending for when you do something. Okay. So in this case, kijibakwe. And that's it. Gigibop, magwa kijibakwe. Gigibop, you laughed. Magwa kijibakwe while you cooked. Gigibop, magwa kijibakwe. All right. Let's do another one with a different actor. We'll do maybe a plural, okay? How about we'll do something like this. The little girl cries when she's sad. Okay, let's do this one. The little girl cries when she's sad. So, clause number one, always start by finding where are my clauses. You have to identify that before you even get started. The little girl cries. That's clause number one. It's in A form because I could just put a period there, right? The little girl cries, period, A form. When she's sad, that's in B form. Okay, so A form, B form. The little girl cries. when she's sad. So let's start with the first one. Um, the little girl, que, but then diminutive, quesens. She cries, moi, quesens moi, quesens moi, quesens moi, when she's sad. So you can put a P if you'd like, but it's not 100% necessary, but you can do it. So a P is like when, okay? But it doesn't replace conjugating the verb correctly. So let's put that verb into B form. So we need when she's sad. So we're going to use something like maudandum, maudandum. Now, what you're going to see here is I chose this one on purpose because we need to put it into B form for third person singular. So, but look how it ends. Maudandum ends in a consonant. It ends in an M. Okay. Maudandum ends in an M. So I cannot just put a D there, right? You might think, oh, it's third person, it's B form. On a VAI, it's going to be a D at the end. Well, no, because then you end up with maudandummed, which does not fly. Okay, so we have to do something else. We need to look at consonant endings. Consonant endings, like the example we did with Douglashin. But Douglashin ends in an N, right? And we added a G to it. So I actually maudandum. I can't put a G there because then you get maudandumg, which also is terrible. So what you do is we again, I explained this a bit last class, but M and N have like a relationship. They're like two sides of the same coin. You can like flip the coin. Is it M or N that you're going to get depending on what you need? In this case, we need an N here to connect the conjunct ending. So we end up with mod and dunk. Mod and dunk. This is now the B form ending. And now it's going to look like Dagoshin becomes Dagoshing. Mod and dum becomes mod and dung. Quasans muepi 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 mod and dung. And there you have it. Okay, a little fun example with um, a consonant ending. Okay, because you can't just like ignore those or just pretend like they don't exist. And I'm only going to do vowel ending verbs. Then you hit a consonant ending one, and you're like, I don't know how to use this, right? So it doesn't really work. You got to face your fears and learn those two. Quickly, I should just do a plural. We're at it. We've done three of the four actors. Why not just do the last one? That way we get to do plurals too. Okay, so if I want to do something like, I don't know, um, the snakes, the snakes, I don't know, rest while they, hmm, what's the right way to do this? About the snakes. What could these little snakes um, do? How about this? The snakes rest before they, how about hunt? Let's do that. The snakes rest before they hunt. Cool. So the snakes, the snakes. Gnabik. Gnabik is one snake. Gnabik. We need to make it plural. It ends in a G or a K, which means what's going to come after it for a plural? Probably O's. Gnabigog ends in a G because it's animate. Gnabigog. Uh, and then we want to say they rest, okay? Because this is clause number one. The snakes rest, period, right? That would be clause number one. It's an A form. So gnabigog unwebe means he or she rests. Gnabigog unwebe. Ooh, that doesn't sound good yet. Gnabigog unwebe. It's like the snakes, he rests. Sounds dumb in English. Sounds kind of dumb in Ojibwe. We need to pluralize it. And in A form, it's with what? Right? Gnabigog unwebewak. Gnabigog unwebewak. All right. So that's it. Clause one is finished. Okay, the snakes rest. Gnebagog unwebewuk. All right. Before they hunt. Before they hunt. So the verb we need is to hunt. Giose. Giose is the VAI verb he or she hunts. Okay. But we want to say before they hunt. And do we remember how to do before? It's actually a preverb. Jibwa. And you hyphenate that onto the front of giose, onto the front of the verb. Okay. Jibwa giose. However, this isn't ready yet. It's still an A form, which it can't be because before clauses, before they hunt, is B form. Before always triggers B form. So it's not ready. And it needs to be plural too, right? So then we can, okay, and it ends in a vowel. Giose as a vowel ending. So what would it be? Look at your little vowel ending kind of list here, and it would be Majta Wad. When they start, we want to say before they hunt. Okay, it's the same concept. So Jibwa Giwose Wad. Boom. There's your B form ending. Life is good. Gnebigog, the snakes. Unwebewug, they rest. Jibwa before. Giwose before they hunt. Gnebigog Unwebewug, Jibwa Giwose Gnebagog Webawag Jabwa Giwo Sewat. Gnebagog Webawag Jabwa Giwo Sewat. There you have it. Okay. So that's going to wrap up our little review session. We looked at vowel ending and consonant ending VAIs in B form, and we did example sentences with A and B for all four of the different actors. Okay. So there's a pretty decent little overview of that. Okay, so hope you enjoyed and I hope this helps and that you can refer to this in the future. Okay, that's it. Thanks.